Hey, what's happening, guys? Some of you know me as Coach Josh from Empower Training Systems. Some of you guys know me as Tech Sergeant March from the 193rd. Some of you just know me as that guy in the Chaplain Corps who did Ninja Warrior and does all those crazy obstacle course races, that kind of thing. Either way, yeah, that's me. I own a gym here in Lancaster. We're currently shut down. We can't be open to have clients come in, but I figured the one thing I could do is help you guys out with some stuff to stay fit and active at home without any equipment really needed at all, and just to kind of show you guys what you can do to stay fit, stay on top of your PT game, and get ready for your PT test even without having access to the gym right now. So to start off, we always want to make sure we do a good dynamic warm-up. Everything we coach to our people is do movement prep. So people years ago used to think that you wanted to stretch before a workout, and all research has shown that that couldn't be more true. If you do static stretching before a workout, you're going to do several things. You're going to shut down the neuromuscular connection between the brain and the muscles. If you've ever heard the saying that you got to hold a stretch for at least 20 seconds, that's because that's how long it takes for your body to send that signal to say, hey, we're not going to hurt ourselves, because your body's first reaction to being stretched is actually to contract. So your body's first reaction is hold it so I don't get hurt, I don't want to overpull this muscle, and it takes about 20 seconds to really relax those muscles to where you can stretch them out. But then think about it, if you go into a workout right after doing that, you've got this really loose contracted muscle that you're about to fire, it actually increases your risk of injury. So we want to save those static stretches for the end for that reason, and because we're not trying to cool down and shut the blood flow off to the muscle before we start for the same kind of reasons. We're trying to warm those muscles up. So the best thing you can do is do something to actually warm up, that's why we call it a warm up, and do movement prep. So what we do with our folks here is we start with a basic dynamic warm up. We start with body weight squats. You can do about 15 to 20 reps of a body weight squat. Keep those heels on the ground, sit back, get nice and deep. Try to get a little deeper with each one that you do. After that, you can go into side lunges. Go side to side, really try to drop those hips, push back and forth, 10 on each side. Then go into butt kickers, 10 times each way. Then we do our straight leg swings, or Frankenstein's monster leg swings. You're gonna swing it up to that opposite hand, again, 10 times each. Then we work on the shoulders. We do scarecrow position, elbows stay up high, 10 up, 10 down. Letter I's and T's, 10 times each. And then after that, we do a little spinal rotation, but we add a little bit more movement in here. So what we'll do is we'll step back, twist over that front leg, come back up, step, twist the other way. We'll do that about 5 times on each side, so you got 10 total. Finish out with 20 jumping jacks, getting those arms up nice and high. Now your heart rate should be up, the blood should be flowing, and we did a lot of different movements that you're going to do in a workout. So now that we've got the dynamic warm-up portion out of the way, we're going to get into the workout. So the workout I've written for you guys today starts with a 5-minute jog or run, and then you're going to go into a 10 exercise circuit that's going to be 45 seconds of work with 15 seconds of rest. So you can use a basic watch or clock or something like that. If you have an app like the Gym Boss app, something like that can work great for you. I use one called Seconds Pro that I use here at the gym, but there's lots of different ways you guys can time this. Any old basic timer will work. So you're gonna do a 5-minute jog or run. You wanna start nice and easy, build your pace up as you go, get a little bit faster towards the end, still not trying to work really, really hard on that. You are going to work hard on those 10 exercises when you get into your circuit. At the end of the 10 exercises, you're going to take a minute or two to rest, and you're going to repeat it another time or two. So 2 to 3 total rounds based on your amount of time that you have available and your fitness level. So 2 to 3 total rounds. Each time you restart the round, I want you to go back and do that 5-minute jog or run. If it's a rainy day, a nasty day like it is here today, you can find another way to get your heart rate up for 5 minutes. You can do something in the house. Just try to keep moving for 5 straight minutes. All right, so the 10 exercise, we're gonna start with bear hug back lunge. So I have a sandbag here. A lot of you guys won't have a sandbag at home, but what you do have is a backpack. Almost everybody has a backpack or some type of sack or bag that you can fill with some kind of weight. So what you can do, weight it up as heavy as you can take. Your first exercise, that bear hug back lunge, you're gonna squeeze it nice and tight. Here's your bear hug. but I don't want you to lock the hands here. I want you to actually keep the hands separate and pulling back into your chest. That's gonna help set the shoulder blades, and then from here, you're gonna step back into a lunge, step back up, and you're gonna alternate sides. You don't quite wanna touch the knee to the ground, and you're trying for about 90-degree bend in the knees. So 90-degree bend here, 90-degree bend at the hips, the whole way around. You don't need to step way back into that lunge. That's what I see a lot of people do wrong on a pretty common occurrence. So just shoot for those 90-degree bends. After you do your 45 seconds there, you're gonna go to flutter kicks. Flutter kicks we're all familiar with. You're gonna be on your back, try to keep that low back flat to the floor. It's actually up to you whether you wanna keep the head up or down. I like to keep the chin tucked. It engages the upper abs. If it bothers your neck though, go ahead and just rest the head back down. But then from here, if you can keep the palms up, you're gonna work a little bit harder. Palms down adds a little support. Hands under the butt is gonna add a little bit more support yet. Try to just go a heel-toe distance apart. Make sure those knees stay locked out. Movement comes from the hips. All right, the next exercise is fireman's rescue. So what you're gonna do is take your backpack, your sandbag, whatever you got, set it to one end of your room. If you don't have a lot of room for this one, what you're gonna do is make a couple of trips, and I'll show you what I mean. So if you're in a small living room, you're not gonna have a ton of room to do your crawl, because the first thing we're gonna do is a crawl. I want you to take at least 10 steps on your crawl. So if you're like me, where I'm at right here in this position, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's not quite enough. I'm gonna turn around, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna turn around, 9, 10, 11, perfect. Then what I'm gonna do is scoop that sandbag up on my shoulder, and if I have steps in my house, I'm gonna take the sandbag up and down the steps. If you don't have steps, you can use a chair or a stool, something that you can step up and down on 10 times. Then you're gonna set it down, go back to your crawl. You're just gonna repeat that pattern for the 45 seconds. So try to crawl at least 10 steps, carry the sandbag, the backpack, up and down the steps, or up and down off of a stool for 10 reps. After that, crunch with crossover punch. So for this one, you're gonna be on your back, you're gonna crunch up, and at the top, crunch, crossover, punch one way, then the other. Try to alternate the direction each time you sit up. After that, we have pop squats. Pop squats, you're gonna start out nice and wide, sit back on those heels. As you come up, tap in the middle, bring them back out wide. So it's a nice quick move, back down low on those heels. If you can't do the impact of the jump, what you can do is do the squat, come up, tap, squat, come up, tap. After that, plank walk-ups. These are gonna help with your push-ups. Gonna be very tricep and shoulder heavy while working the core at the same time. So what you're gonna do here is get into a low plank position, walk up and down, leading with one arm, if you can, for halfway, and then switch to the other side. If you need to drop to your knees on this, that's fine, but one thing you wanna make sure is that your weight is forward over your chest. So what we don't want is to move your butt back. Now hardly any of the weight is over my arms, all the weight's back here over my hips. So make sure you're forward, do your plank walk-ups with most of the weight over your chest. After that, you have Russian twists. You have a couple options here. You can take the weight of your backpack or your sandbag, do your Russian twist this way. You could do it without weight, just taking your hands side to side, and you can make it a little bit easier just by resting those feet down on the floor as you go side to side. You want to be in a V-sit position, about a 45-degree angle, leaning back. After that, bent over row. You're going to take your bag again. Doesn't matter how you want to hold this. You could do a pinch grip like this to add some more grip strength work. You want to use the handle on the top of the backpack, however it works for you. But you're going to take a nice narrow stance, butt goes back nice and straight, so it's into what we call a hip hinge. And from here, you're going to row on one side. Keep that elbow in nice and tight. Try to drive with your lats. Drive that shoulder blade up at the top. You're gonna go about halfway, switch to the other side. So again, chest up, back stays nice and flat, pull it up next to you. After that, we have glute bridge walkouts. So for this one, you're gonna be on your back, butt comes up. From here, these hips stay elevated the entire time, palms are up. You're gonna take small little steps, walk all the way out without quite touching the ground, walk it back up and in. You can make this a little more challenging by bringing the arms up, and make it more challenging yet by adding the hold of your weighted bag up top at the same time.
Then we have clean and press. So again, whatever you have for your weight will work for this one. You're gonna try to go nice and quick. You're gonna straddle your weight. You're gonna come down, chest stays up in that deep squat. From here, bring it up, press it overhead, back down to the ground. So as quick as you can, as many reps as you can. Really doesn't matter how you hold it. What matters is good squat, straight back, chest up. Remember, when you finish that, that's where you've got your 1 to 2 minute rest. You're gonna go back to your 5-minute jog or run, and you're gonna repeat it. Have fun with it, guys.